let's get the stream on here. Stream. Alright. Alright. Pretty much just gonna be farm again. So, I have noticed, they did, on this cluster server, they did add the Genesis 2 package. And there's two new things that you're able to craft, apparently. One is mutagen. Can be used to improve the statistics of non-bred dinos. So I'm guessing that's like, if you get a brain fart, forgot the word, mutation. You get a mutation on one of your dinos when you're breeding them. This here must be something that you use to basically get that effect without actually... So you can go out and tame a wild dino, come back, make a bunch of this, and it'll increase the stat as if it was a mutated dino of your own. Okay. Mutagel can be crafted into mutagen at a chemistry bench and can be used to tame striders. Strider mutagel requirements scale by its level. Okay. So you need 4 of these to make, guessing, 1 of these, but you need 800 of these to make 1 mutagen. Confusing. Alright, well. I've pretty much forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, should all okay, so now I got more spades. Charcoal. Make a bunch of spark powder. No, make spark powder. Stone wool. the RG. Gonna have a crap load of levels put away. Melee. Melee. I don't even bother stuff on the team. It's a habit, and I'm going to flint, and in order to get a lot of flint, there's one place to go for that. Is over in, it's not directly in the desert, but it's close enough. Now I should have enough stamina quite a distance. Let's see what level. 15. Checking. Get a dino. Right. Sure. Otherwise, I'd make a couple of the. Yeah, I guess it would have to be beam stone. Yeah, oh, beam stone. takes a lot more. That's why. Yeah, I'm having a conversation with myself here. I'm crazy. The reason behind making a behemoth stone gateway is because it takes less material. It's easier to get those materials to make them. Take it down there. Primitive stuff. Remembered. I think the tame that I have, I think I'll like tame it and then crowd it. So I haven't had it out since taming. There's probably 100 levels I need to put into that too. The nice thing about this tame, swings for itself. You can get it down close enough to the ground. sign that I'm not hitting it. So it's just... See how much it got over. Pick that for now. Go get some flint. Not very difficult for me to go and get stone. Just the flint. You get way more stone from hitting stones than you do flint. Unless you go down to the area down there. Thanks for the follow. Oh, raid. Oh. Thanks for the raid of 6. Yeah, you can't spam in the chat. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Nightbot's, one message. Or I gotta find out how to... Spam protect. Tab. Crap, I got everything turned on. Disable that. That. Disable that. That. Alright, let's see if that fixes that. Again, sorry about that. I haven't had to really mess with Nightbot yet. Actually, I haven't had to mess with really a lot yet. I'm not doing too bad. Yourself? What were you streaming just before you hopped over here? Oh, right on. Uh, 1M or 1 Modern, I guess that's your name there. Thanks for the follow and the post. As you guys can tell, I am on Ark Survival Evolved. Right now I am not on the new Genesis 2 thing. I am on a dedicated server. In the one day I'll figure out. TBC, the Burning Crusade. What you're talking there? No WoW? No. Not right now. I have the tendency of burning myself out when it comes to WoW. I think I've done enough transmog runs in the last friggin' what, month that I'm probably good for another couple months. I'll probably be back on it again later on. It's just right now I'm taking a break from it. Back on the Ark run for a bit. Look at it, Ark is like the adult version of Minecraft with a little bit of PvP mixed in at the same time. I've been on this last 2 days, and periodically I've been on while doing the runs there for a bit. But last month I had COVID. I had to get rid of that, get over that too. Not much a buff. How are you doing? Oh, and for those of you just joining, the on either YouTube or Twitch, I am streaming on both right now. I have a Discord server. It is in the description. I'm trying to get the Discord server for this setup. I can't seem to get it to actually show up. Actually, might. Stupid freaking terrorists. Okay. No, it doesn't, still doesn't friggin' do it. Yeah, so I'm trying to set up the server info on here. Yeah, with the COVID thing there, I found it was basically just a chest infection with joint pain, and it didn't make any sense to me the way they were trying to tell me, because I'm living in the same house as my girlfriend, and she had the symptoms before I did. She got tested, it came back positive for her. I got tested pretty much not even a full week after that. They tell me I'm supposed to quarantine from her, the person that most likely gave me the symptoms. So I just think they were kind of making it up as they were going when it came to that. But yes, the disease does exist, or the virus, it does exist. There's a lot of people out there that don't even think that much. You back, thanks for the follow. But yeah, I really don't want to get started on the whole vaccine thing, because I think it's all, like, I won't be getting that until they have at least maybe 4-5 more years worth of actual testing done with it. I'm not going to be the guinea pig. I'll wait for them to come back and tell me that it's actually proven. Came across your stream and I think I can help you out with branding graphics. Yeah, if you look in the description there, you'll see my Discord. Go into the Discord and send me some links there. Yeah, I literally just got back into the trying to figure out my stream and all that kind of shit, so Nightbot would probably have timed you out if you typed something in too many capital letters, or if you typed in, I think it was like 3 emotes in a row. Yeah, I just had to turn a lot of it off. My links are invalid on the chat log, but I should be able to receive links in Discord. So if you want to send me the information on there, I'll see what you got there. I also have I believe I also have a Twitter, and I also have a Instagram, and I believe they're also in the description if you punch in exclamation point of either of them. Yeah, I kind of figured that. I think as soon as Killa came in here with 6 people, it immediately just, it's like Nightbot panicked, and it just said that it timed him out, and yeah. So I kind of figured that it was Nightbot's fault. I'll go back in and I'll do some tweaking on it later on. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hold on a second. server. That. There's my Discord. Should work. Alright. Sure, as I do. Because for some reason it does not allow me to. Yeah, I think it might work on here. Oh yeah, that's right, it's wrong. So there's my Discord. For anybody wanting to look at it. Right. And for anybody that's in here that would actually like to play on this server, this is the Discord for that. Oh yeah, that's right, I can't type on. Alright. So yeah, so this is the Discord for that info. If you want to be on this cluster of servers, they did just get the Genesis 2 apparently up and running. Like I said, I haven't played it yet. I'm not on it right now because I pretty much just started playing back on the server, or back in this game recently. Stream, so I'm actually communicating with you. But yeah, I only just started playing on here recently again, so I'm still building myself up. I don't see any point in me starting over on another new server while I'm still new on this server, so I'm at least going to get somewhere with this one and go from there. But if anybody wants to play on this clusters of servers, there is the Discord is there, and just follow the rules that are there and they will show you what you need to do in order to get on. But besides that, let's see. That's right, I wasn't here to be a battle run. I wanted to do a flint. First, the one time I don't want to do a battle run, there's no rock. So, for anybody new to Ark, that is not a rock. It might look like a rock. That's what it really is. Big ol' rock golem. these are the stones that I'm looking for here. But I'm gonna go down closer to the closer to some areas that don't have that kind of stuff. Alright. But yeah, when I'm there evac there, when I do decide to look into that, I will probably be tomorrow, maybe. I'll look into it and see what I can do. I think the I do have a few emotes that I had made up. I don't know if you know the guy or not. Vortec. I had him do up a couple emotes there for me. I think I just... I think I just took the longest possible route to get to where I want to go. What the hell? Just teams out. Filter. Okay. Enough. But yes, this is a PvP server, and for anybody that joins this server, there is prompts for you to basically register your tribe, and there's also a channel on there that gives you the ability to basically have a week of immunity to build up. And you also get a new guy package, more or less, which it consists of a bunch of metal foundation, metal wall, metal door frame, you name it, and all that kind of stuff. And it'll get you going really quickly. Gonna take some practice again. Awesome, thank you. Modern? I'm gonna call you Modern. One is for, but... For you guys that are just joining on here, I do not have a stream schedule as of yet. I'm pretty much just on whenever I'm on. So, but eventually, if I get a bit of traffic, then I will see what I can do. That's a... Yeah, that best. get back to what I was saying before. I was really interrupted by the manta. The stream schedule I don't have, but like I said, when I get more traffic, I will think about it. Flag spike. And right now I'm playing Ark. There's a chance I could be playing GTA. There's a chance I could be playing World of Warcraft. I have other games downloaded that I have not played yet that I played a little bit and got really discouraged on it. When I'm talking Escape from Tarkov, I have the game, I just tried playing it for the first little while and pretty much ran out of inventory because of how bad I was at it at the beginning. And then I was told to basically play it on kind of like single player against mods, or not mods, but NPCs, and get my practice in that way, but kind of just started playing other games instead and never really went back to it. But again, depending on the situation, I might go back to that too. Not opposed to playing any games. Just haven't played enough. What's another game Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. I have that game. I usually just play that on multiplayer hardcore. I don't play Warzone because at this point I don't have anybody that actually wants to play it. So I'm not playing it on solo. Maybe one of these days you can carry me. No, I'll just need to practice like any other game out there. Okay. The thing is, this thing doesn't have much health, so I can't exactly let it get hit too much. Him up here, some levels away. That game does look to... Yeah. That's the thing though, with Escape from Tarkov, there's one thing I must say about that game. If you don't know your guns, you are pretty much screwed. And I mean like real guns. If you don't know what kind of ammo goes into what kind of gun, at the very beginning, you're screwed. Because you can't just slap any random bullet into any kind of gun, as anybody would never notice. But with that game, and with the equipment, like the let's say your scopes and your butt stocks and all that kind of stuff, you can't just slap one on any old gun. Those specific pieces are meant for specific guns. Unlike with Call of Duty, it pretty much just gives you, when you go into your specific gun, it'll tell you what you can put on it, what you unlocked for that gun. With Tarkov, it's here's your gun, here's a bunch of equipment for everything that this person gives you for 17 different guns. If you pick the wrong one, it's just going to sit in your inventory and it'll be completely useless to you. Unless you magically pull the right gun out, which that's something else too. My inventory is about half full of useless junk because it either went for a gun that I had, went in and lost, or it's or I just happen to have it in my inventory at the beginning, and or I even went and bought a bunch of stuff thinking at the beginning that it was kind of like Call of Duty, and no. How wrong I was. Turns out I gotta come down here with an Anki, not the tank that I got, because with the Anki I would get flint instead of stone, or I got a lot of stone here and I need flint instead. So I'm gonna go back. I might actually grab the Anki and do a metal run anyway, which is back where I showed you guys the rock golem that's trying to follow me. Basically the can't remember his name. Fantastic Four, the giant rock guy. Can't remember his name. Oh, this is a long flight back. Should try and find a better place closer to base to do this stuff. Isn't really Sure. So I don't have enough gear. So nah. So going through the winter zone. This is not on PC. I am on Xbox. It's not really much difference though, because I have played it on PC. I like the game. Like I said, it's basically like playing... It's what I would call the adult version of Minecraft. Yeah, this game is a lot like I said, the adult version of Minecraft, where you go out, you gather your materials, you basically need to make something in order to build something. So like with Minecraft, you go out, you get stone, or you get dirt, or sand, gravel, whatever, and then you go back to your base, you make a furnace, and you cook it or whatever, and make whatever it is that you want to make. This game, you go out, you get metal, Yeah, you go out and you get your metal or your stone or flint, and only in this case, once I gotta head back to base, and then once I get there, I will I'll show you the base that I have built. I need to put something on. Some iron. No, I don't want to be attacked by you, you bird. Okay, long route. Yeah. Yeah, so once I get back to base, which is gonna take forever now, this stupid crap, you build your floors, your foundations, you build just walls, giant doors that can fit. I'll actually try and take a spin by and show you a Giga, which is a Gigantosaurus. Almost sounds like that name was just made up for this game and done by a 6-year-old. But the Giga is basically one of the strongest, I guess, tameable. I can't say tameable because you can also tame everything in this game, more or less. Large stuff. You just can't keep it very long. But it's words difficult. The Giga is the one tame that you can keep and always have after taming it, raising it, or whatever. That's something else with this game. You get every dinosaur is male, female, so you can breed them. You get eggs or live births, whatever. You raise them from either hatched or baby up to adult until they're fully grown tame. And then you can use them. You put saddles on everything, except there's a couple that you don't. You can get wyverns, which are... Wyverns, which are basically... They're not a dragon, because there is also a dragon. Oh, gee, yeah, there's a lot to this game. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to this game. You also can gather wood. Everything that's around me right now, like up straight in front of me, is what looks like a caribou, deer, moose, whatever you want to call them. They look, you can tame them. The pteranodon to our left that's flying around, you can tame that. That giant dire bear, you can tame that. The rhino, blue rhino, you can tame that. That you can tame. I can't remember the name of it. But there's a lot of dinosaurs in this game. I can't actually name them because I can't remember the actual name of them, so I put a nickname or something on them. Like that right there, that looks like a miniature Bronto. I call that a pushy because of the fact that if you get close to it, it literally just takes its head and it kind of flicks you. It doesn't actually hit you, but it'll throw you back. It basically pushes you, so I just started calling it a pushy. Like the in Jurassic Park, the dinosaur that spits the venom out of its face. I can't remember how to pronounce that name, so I call that a spitter. And everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say that. But yeah, this one here is what's it called? The Diplocus. Yeah. So when you get close to it, which I will do right now. Oh, its neck. It just pushed me. That's what I do. classic perk. It was a 1986 or 84 movie. I'm gonna fly over this way and see if I need to get this guy. So, see if I can't steal the carnage. Yeah. That worked. I'm gonna go over and try and get that purple drop. These drops as well. All these have different colors. Each color represents better or worse loot that comes from it, or a specific kind of loot that comes from it. White drops, I believe they have, if you really look at them closer, they kind of look like they're rainbowed, but they're white drops. They have things like food, kibble, and stuff like that. I think it's blue drops give you garbage, which is just a basic pistol and something else. Then you can also get blue, or like this one gives me saddles and saddle BPs. Green ones give, no, green ones are the kibble, I think. White ones give you the they give you enough metal structure to build, I think it's a pretty big building. You can also get tech, which is that right there. It's a tech Rex. They almost, I can't say every dinosaur in this game because I think there's only maybe 6 that I can think of in the regular game here that can come out as tech. You can get Rex. You can get the duck-faced parasaur. And you can get Utzels, which are the large carrying flying bird. So there's lots. There's a lot to this game, but you can get tech stegos. You can get tech raptors. I'm trying to remember them all now. I think if I go do a metal run, I'm gonna take my wyvern. Which, that's a new feature in this game they just recently put in that they didn't have before for people that might know the game already. The ability to breed wyverns now. It's not just a matter of going to their nests and stealing their egg, hatching, raising, and doing that. You can actually breed them now. What else? There's a lot to this game. I haven't played it in so long. There's also a lot that I have forgotten about this game. Which is another reason why I'm not just gonna go jump into Genesis 2. Because the last thing I want to do, stand up here. Last thing I want to do is go over there and get stuck. And not be able to get back over here. So, also, I do not need ski. So my base should be over there, directly in front of me. The highest peak directly in front of me. See, tech stegos. And when you kill tech dinos, you get electronics, you get element dust, you get, I believe, oil, and I think you get metal. Not sure on that. I'm definitely taking the wyvern. Takes way too freaking by this thing. And you can't turn up the speed of a flyer. So you're pretty much stuck with the flyer as it's. And I'm home. Finally. Free old age pension checks. This thing is basically an oh, stupid bugs. This thing is an oversized pigeon. So unless you can find an oversized pigeon that you can actually sit on the back of, but I'm also afraid of heights, so I really wouldn't. So this is part of my base. This is my grind station, which when you get metal or wood, you can put them in these indie forges. When you first start playing the game, so this is your Ingram list. When you hit level 1, you're automatically started with the ability to make a pickaxe, a torch, and paper. Paper is used for making recipes and things like that. That's something that I still haven't really fallen into and figured out. I think I made one recipe on official servers and that was it. But you eventually unlock the ability to make things on each level. Makes it to where you can make certain or different items. So you start off with the ability to make, let's find it here. So you need to grind up to past it. Yeah, there it is. So the refining forge is the starter version of this. So this thing cooks, like right now it's cooking a wood per second. It takes about 10 to 15 seconds in the refining forge to cook one wood. Each charcoal that you get from that is helped to make things like gunpowder and stuff like that. So I'm already quite a few steps ahead on the beginning level right now. But yeah, so you make one of these. Actually, technically I got all of these from a drop because I am not actually high enough level. I believe it's level 80 or 83. Find it. So 80 to make the indie forge. I need to get up to 80. Get to 80. Yeah, I just need to. Oh, I need to get to 100. Because I need these. I need the ability to make these, and then I don't even know what any of this shit is. But yeah, I need to get to 80 so that I can build more of those. The heavy automated turret, which are electric run. They're also lights and torches and stuff. This right here is a turret tower, which is also built. So each one of these that I'm standing on is a foundation, metal foundation. You can make stairs, you can make ceilings, walls, and you start off, when you first start playing, being able to make it with thatch. So thatch is, for anybody like me, when I first started playing this game, I didn't know what thatch was, but it's essentially grass. So another word for grass. But yeah, you make thatch foundation, thatch door frame, ceilings, walls, doors. If you're first starting to play this game, I highly recommend building one of these immediately as soon as you can. And I wouldn't worry too much about the sleeping bag. Wait until you're able to make a bed. Once you can make a bed, put it in your building, and then anytime you die, you can respawn on this bed within a certain amount of time. Each one of these also causes a lot of heat if it gets warmer in the game, and then I can also stand in here and I can overheat. So in this game as well, you have a kind of like in Minecraft where you have your health bar and your food bar. Well, in this case, in this game, you have a food bar. You also have a water bar. So once you become thirsty, you become hungry, your oxygen, your stamina, and your health are all, once you gain levels, you can put points in any of them. Crafting. So every point you put into crafting gives you the ability to use a BP or blueprint to make something, and when you make that, like in this case on this blueprint that I have right here, your weight and your armor says 20 and 20. With my crafting skill up to 400, if I crafted this, the weight would probably be either the same or less, and the armor would go up. So with a higher crafting skill, the better you can craft. And that's with any blueprint. You have a Fabi, which is another ability to, so when you first, there we go. So what I was saying earlier, down in the bottom right of my screen, you see that fire thing. That's telling me that I'm hot. Or when I'm overheating or heat stroke, it's a bigger flame is what it shows there. With that, it's just a little flare. My water consumption is going up. So I'm going to be consuming more water the hotter I am like that. Same with food. So what I need to do with, right now, I can equip things like this. So with ghillie suit, it changes my ability. So the I still don't know which one's which, but hypothermic and hypothermic. So one's for hot and one's for cold. So when I put on ghillie suit, it regulates my temperature. So if I go and put on a full set of ghillie and run into the desert where it's really hot, I don't overheat. But I also have my fortitude, which if you look at the bottom of the bars here, you see it says torpidity at the very bottom, which torpidity is how much my character can take before it's knocked out. So if I get bitten by a dinosaur in this game called a Trudeau, or microraptors, or snakes, the Titan boas, if I get bitten by them, I get knocked out. Actually, I could probably just explain that by doing this. So, this here is narcotic, which is the item you use to knock out a wild tame, or keep the wild tame asleep while you're trying to tame. So if I consume one, my torpidity goes up. Now, because my fortitude is up really high, this is not going to go very far before it starts going back down. I made it to 12 and I started going back down. If I consumed a whole bunch of them, it would knock me out. And then it would take a while for that torpidity to go back down to where I wake up. Same thing with your wild dinosaurs. It works the same way. So if I wanted to knock this out, I will. There's also an app, or you can go online and look up, it's called Dododex, which gives you, if you take, like in my case right now, looking at my Argentavis, I put in the level, so it's level 205, so I would have to knock it out. It would tell me at level 205 how many trank arrows, trank darts, or you punch it all in. There's several different ways you can do it. It would also give you the option to tell you what energy level your weapon is. So if I put a primitive weapon with a certain amount, I would punch in my weapon damage and it would automatically calculate, let's say 16 trank arrows to knock something out. With weapon damage of 157%, it'd probably take 10 to knock it out. And then Dododex would tell me that. After you knock it out, you put the narcotic in its inventory and then it consumes it. You can make it consume it when its torpidity level goes down to where it's about to wake up. Dododex also gives you the hand of being able to tell you when it is going to need it, and you can set a timer for it to beep and tell you when you need to do it. So when you knock out a tame, I would normally just take spike walls, put it around it, and then when the timer comes close, fly back and either finish taming it or go on with the next thing. That's taming. Narcotic, torpidity. Fortitude is it helps me regulate either my temperature. So if I had 0 fortitude and I stepped outside, I would probably be cold immediately. If I put a little bit more fortitude in, I don't become cold so easily. So right now, being at 100, I would have to go into a really cold area before it would tell me that I'm cold. And once it does that, as soon as I put on a piece of gear, really. So when you craft and you're able to craft the pants, shirt, and I believe the hat are the easiest ones to be able to craft at the very beginning of the game, because the boots and the gloves require hide. Most of the time, all I would do is just go around and kill a bunch of dodos, which they're also in the game, and yes, you can also tame them. They're good for basically just get a bunch of them together and they work like chickens. You just get eggs out of them. And it's good for beginning, mid-game, end-game, things like that. You really don't need them. But killing them, you kill a lot of them and you get the hide that you need, which you're going to want to kill a bunch of them because you are going to need hide in order to make the bed. The bed takes 40 hide. If you're on an official server, which I am not right now, official server, everything is scaled down. So if you killed one dodo, you might get 2-3 hide from it. On here, I think I got like 1,700 from one of them. It was just something weird. Depending on what you use. And the weapons that you use also makes the difference. So if you're using... Got one in my inventory. I don't. So if you kill a dodo, you want to harvest it with an axe. For the beginning anyway. Because when you do, so the sharp flint hatchet for harvesting wood from trees, stone from rocks, and skin from bodies. With the pickaxe, it doesn't work. You get meat instead of hide. Or skin, as they put it in the description on that. So, yeah, pickaxe you'll get... If I'm hitting a tree, I'll get thatch from the tree with the pickaxe. I'll get meat from bodies, and I'll get flint from stone. If I use the axe on a tree, I get wood. Now, you get a little bit of both from both of them. It's just a matter of which one you'll get more of. And that's the same thing when later on you'll get metal and things like that. It just gives you more, mostly. Another thing you definitely want to make when you first start playing is a torch and a bunch of spears. Trust me, when you're running around with nothing except for a couple pieces of what you got there, the spears work wonders for killing things like the spitters or diplo, whatever they are. It helps you kill the dodos quicker, things like that. It makes a big difference. And get a spyglass as soon as you can, because the ability to see farther in front of you with or without a weapon attached to it, if you're on a PvP server, for instance, this thing works wonders for you to be able to see somebody coming, and you have plenty of time to hide before they even know you're there, or tuck away and ambush them, or whatever it is you plan on doing. What am I doing? Go get my wyvern and my Anki. Oh yeah, so this is my turret tower. At least the beginning of it. So each turret holds 58 stacks of bullets, and each turret that I have on here has maxed out their bullets, and I plan on filling each one of these hatch frames. They're all electric powered, as I said, so you have to, as you can see it on this side. There you go. So that... Okay. So, as you can see, the yellow cable in the middle. And then, if you look at the platform that's right in front of me, and you look a little ways up, you'll see what looks almost like a camera, or an army camera for, like, airstrikes and things like that, I guess. If you've watched some movies that have them. That there's a junction box. If you put one of them nearby, as you can see, the junction box has a bunch of those wires coming out of it going to my turrets and some other stuff. And that powers all of these. Inside my turret, I have a generator with fuel in it. I got lots of fuel. And in order to attach the cable, you need to... There's certain cables. So this one here is a straight one that goes up. And then there's another one that comes straight down. This little kink thing that's going on right here is a... Find it. It's this one. The flexible electric cable. Now it did a weird little bend to it, which made it look funny, but basically, if you don't line things up perfectly, then your cable is going to run up that way, and it's going to come down, and it's not going to be able to join anywhere. And it has to join properly. It doesn't, like, there's no bend to them, except for this flexible one. If there's yellow on the line, it means there's power going through it. If it's a basic black cable, there's no power going through. This here is my hatchery, or gonna be my breeding room, basically. Bunch of lights, a bunch of AC units, which are, in this game, when you get eggs, when you get fertilized eggs, they have to be kept at a certain temperature. Again, this game is really realistic when it comes to some stuff, and then there's some stuff that's just weird. But eggs have to be at a certain temperature in order to continue the hatching stages. And that's why I have AC units in here. And I'm going to try and line up this entire wall with them. Put the eggs up here, they hatch. And then down here is going to be where I take the male, female, let them breed, and hopefully just take the egg and go right over there. Some tames are a live birth, so there is no egg to them. Like there's a dinosaur in this game called a managammer, I think is what it's called. It's looks like a giant colorful fox, and those are live breeds. So the female actually stays pregnant, and when you put them in, you need to put them in a room here like this, so that when the birth happens, the baby doesn't, because with the mana, the baby flies out and just pretty much disappears if you don't have it in a room. So you need to put it in a room and then go in, claim it, put it where it needs to be, and make it stop running around. And that's why you need a breeding room. Because like I said, if I put let's say I put the female out here and add the birth, I have this entire base to try and hunt it down. At least in there I only have one room to look through. And then sorry. So that's the grind station. That's my turret tower. This is my other wall. That's the beginning of what is going to be my greenhouse, which is so again, in this game you can grow, basically like Minecraft. You can grow berries. So all the berries, show it in here. So there's several different berries that you can get. Amber, Azul, Bijos, Stim, Tinto, and then there's the narcotic berry, which is the blackberry. And then each one of them, you get seeds. Like I have the narcotic seed here. I have any of the other one on in here right now. And then you can get a couple different vegetables. So carrots, potato, trying to remember, corn. That's it. And you grow all of these. And in a lot of cases you can either make, like I've already picked up a bunch of stuff from drops. So you can make things like kibble, which takes a certain amount of each, let's say berry or the vegetables, to make specific ones of these. So there's several different kinds. So that there's basic kibble, there's exceptional kibble, extraordinary kibble, got another one down here, regular kibble, simple kibble, superior in kibble. Now each one of these will work for a specific tame. And if you get, let's say I was trying to tame a dodo, the basic kibble would work for the dodo. But if I was to try and tame a griffin, this basic kibble, I think I either need a whole lot more of it, or it doesn't work at all. But the nice thing about this game and the way they have it set up, if you make the maximum tier kibble, that tier kibble works for everything below it. So if I make nothing but extraordinary kibble, I'm good for everything. Instead of having to make basic kibble for a certain kind, extraordinary for a certain kind. That's something that they did implement in the game a long time ago. Because you used to have to make the specific kibble for the specific tame. This is a heavy automated turret up close. So each, as you can see, stack of 200 bullets, 58 stacks of 200 bullets. And the way I have this set up, I have it set up to medium range, so it'll at least reach the door. And it'll kill, or aim for survivors, so any other player, or tamed creatures. So if I left the door open, let's say I put all of those turret towers to the same thing, and I left that door open, wild tames came in, those turrets will not shoot them. They won't waste the bullets. If another player came in on their tame, those turrets would shoot them. This is a feeding trough, which you can get this kind, or eventually, once you hit boss fights, the ability to build a tech feeding trough. Actually, that's it. Oh, I already have it. So yeah, tech troughs. So with these, they're basically a feeding trough for your dinosaurs, but it keeps the food kind of like in a fridge. So when you take something, and that's something else too, fridges are later on down the road when it comes to things that you can use, but right here, like I was saying with the I keep passing it. So like with the refining forge and the indie forge that I have downstairs, indie meaning industrial forge that I have downstairs. So this is the basic, the industrial forge is a step up. Preserving bin is the basic, refrigerator is the step up. With the preserving bin, you need to put an item in it called spark powder, which spark powder is stone and flint put together in here. Now, what I was saying earlier, so with things like, so spark powder and the charcoal makes gunpowder. There's a lot of stuff in here that you can mix together and make other items, kind of like this here is chitin or keratin and stone, which makes cementing paste. Cementing paste is used for a lot of things like building your metal structures. Make that too. Metal structures. So, metal ceiling. You need 10 cementing paste and 35 metal ingots. So, again, when you're building, you need to do a lot of farming. So, like, my case right now, I also need to grab wyvern and the inky. I'm gonna go up and kill that Carno that's up there too, because that's a... Actually, I don't think that's a Carno. It sounds like it's a Bronto. Pretty bad I'm starting to actually know what a tame sounds like. Just because I can hear that crunching. That's a tree eater and the amount that I'm getting shake and everything, I'm thinking it's either the pushy that I was talking about or a Bronto. Don't need saddle. Saddle. Cannot sand is used for. So shit. That's our good. It's nighttime, so this wyvern that I have is a very bright one. When I say bright, I am meaning that. So this is a wyvern. Basically, the way that they differentiate a wyvern and a dragon, wyverns have 2 legs and their arms are attached to their wings. A dragon has 4 legs and separate wings. This is so bright. A white drop. Pretty sure that drops. Yeah, that drops the structure. So the doors, walls. Oh. So the green one drops it, or it could be the one with a yellow ring around it. Still never flew next to a Giga either. I'll show you. But yeah, there's lots of places in this game to build bases and things like that on PvP anyway. With PvE, if you're playing on a PvE server, you can pretty much build anywhere and nobody's gonna bother you. Unless they're already built there, then you can't, but besides that, I mean, you can build anywhere. Whatever's a flat zone that works good for you, then give her. But with PvP, a lot of times you want to build in places like caves, underground, hidden areas, stuff like that, because of the fact that it takes less materials for you to build, for one. If there's a cave, you only have to build doors and then it's covered. Griffin. 84. But yeah, forgot what I was talking about already. Oh yeah, building in caves. With the caves, you only have to build, if there's only one way in and one way, there's only one way in and one way out, then you only have to put up a door in front of that spot and that's it. Then you can go right into building what you need to build. Things like your being able to get narcotic so that you can tame tames. The more dinos you have, the better it is. Things like that. More defense. Like, defense is number one when it comes to the PvP thing. When I'm still trying to look for a giga too, also explaining this. Probably hidden in the trees, as stupid as it sounds. It's kind of like trying to hide a haul truck. But once you build in a cave, then you don't have so much else to worry about when it comes to building the rest of your base. So like in my case, I have my hatchery. I'll have my greenhouse. I'll have the upstairs room, my grind station, things like that. Where if I was to build on a PvE server, let's say build on the top of that hill, I'll need to build an entire base. Then I need to build an entire structure for hatching, and then I need to build another thing for then when you keep on building, you build every single structure that you have instead of worrying about building your instead of building your separate structures like on PvE. You can build inside your main area and just have more or less platforms for each of them. It just takes less materials. And on PvP, the more materials you can save, the more you can use them for things like your turrets, your turret towers. Because if eventually, when you're in your cave, you're going to want to build turret towers outside of that cave. I guess the best way to put it, if you're on an official server, if you're not a member of one of the tribes that are there, you have a very slim chance of survival because of the fact that it's not how much defense you have, it's if the amount of defense you have is worth their time to take it out. So if you get a single person runs up, somebody in a tribe by themselves, and they run up to your base, they get shot by it, then they're just going to avoid your base. They know your base is there, they're going to avoid it, they don't care. They're just going to not want to go up and get attacked by it. If you get somebody in a big tribe that has a whole lot of different tames that they can throw away, we call them, the throwaways, they're going to take the time to soak, which is essentially the term soak, meaning to soak up all the bullets that are in your turrets. If you're not online, They'll just sit there, they'll take a tame. There's a couple tames that are good for that. Stegos, Trikes, and the Dodicarus. Or not Dodicarus. Paracerethium. Or Racer. They're good because the one point that you put away in health on a, let's say, the Paracerethium, you'll gain, let's say, 1,000 health instead of things like, if I put a point in health on a Wyvern, I'll only get 200. So there's some tames that are literally out there just for soaking. So what you'll do is you'll take a tame, put all your points in health, and then you'll run into a base, you'll soak up all their bullets, heal up your tame, and move on. And when you soak their turrets, obviously you win the battle and you get to steal all their loot, which is the purpose of PvP. On PvE, your Stego, your Paracerethium, your Parasaur, all those tames are literally just berry getters, or if you're like me with a lot of it, you're just collecting them. Collecting them to have them. And this game does have an achievement for taming every dino in the game, which I'm a very, 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 very long way away from coming even close to that right now. So this is by far the most boring part of this game. You tame an Anki, and then you, especially if you're in PvP, because this is pretty much, I would say, 80% of what you do in this game is farm enough materials for bullets. So on official servers, so let's say right now, I'll take a swing at this. So I get 686 metal and 200 stone. If I was on official, I would probably get 35 to 40 metal per swing instead of what I'm getting now. This being a dedicated server, everything has been boosted mostly. So my stacks, for instance, stacks of metal are 3,000. I think they're 200 on official. Everything in this game's weight is increased by a stupid amount. Most of the time I can't even read the number of how high they are. And the only thing that they haven't increased the weight on here is the elevators, because I tried to build an elevator to get up to my upstairs in my base and I can't use it because it's overweighted. But if you're on official server, you become encumbered, which means you have too much weight on your body, you have to get rid of it. So there's some people out there that use it as a strategy. With a tech suit, you have your legs are able to help you carry or move a whole lot more weight. So if you do what's called a block box, which if you see down in the bottom corner just under, so there's my health, my energy, my food, my water, and then my weight. So that's a old-fashioned weight emblem. If you see that come up on your screen in anywhere except for that spot, it would show it's black. which is where the term black box comes from. You get, I think it's 350 slots of items you can carry in your inventory. So in my case, I can carry 340... Okay, 340 in my actual inventory on the left, and then I can hold 10 more on my action bar. Now, if I'm only carrying, like in this case, I'm carrying 5, so I can carry 455 items in my inventory, and then I have the 5 on my action bar. The more points you put in melee damage for teams, the more materials you get per swing. Yeah, all that fucking talking. No, this is not a beer. It's a Pepsi. Like I said, this is by far the most boring part of this game. But with this server and the way that it's boosted like it is, I only have to do it. I don't have to do it as often as I would on an official server. And if you ever get into an official server, your best map to do metal runs on, if you can tolerate the ability that you can't get off the server until you find a drop, or you have unlocked the I can't even remember the name for the contraption either, but you have to do boss fights in order to unlock things. Boss fights are... try and explain it. There's certain things you go pick up on the map that you need a certain amount of them. So like for instance, the Brontosaurus and the Pushy or Diplo, whatever that one is, they drop a item that's called a vertebrae. You need a certain amount of the vertebrae with a certain amount of other items from other dinosaurs all around the map. And then you need other items that are, they kind of look like shields. I guess is the best way to look at them. You get a certain amount of them, and then you have everything that you have acquired in order to do a boss fight. Now each boss fight, so there's a boss. One boss is a dragon. Another boss is a manticore, which is what I would consider the old term for what is a chimera, which it's kind of like a griffin mixed with I think the snake's head on its tail. That's another boss that you can do. Now on this server, the dragon and the manticore are both a boss fight at the same time. On the server, the island, you have three different boss fights. One is the dragon by itself, which has been said to be the hardest boss fight in this game so far. Then you have the Megapithecus, I think is what it's called. It's a giant monkey, which is another boss fight, but that's on the island. And then you have another one that's called the Broodmother, which is a giant spider. Each one of these fights, you have to go and pick up everything that I was saying there for each boss fight. There's Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. So Alpha is the hardest think beta is second and gamma is the easiest. Each boss fight takes a certain amount, so the harder it is, the more of that item you're gonna need. Get this wyvern over here before Carno decides to come over and eat him. Where is he? Carno. But yeah, each boss fight takes a certain amount of each item, and each boss fight difficulty takes more or less of that item. When you defeat certain bosses, so if you did a, let's say, gamma fight, you'll only unlock a certain amount of items from it. But if you did alpha right away, you would unlock those items, the ones from beta and the ones from alpha. Each map has its own set of boss fights. So, like this server being Ragnarok, you have the three alpha, beta, and gamma are just 3 fights, which is only dragon and manticore. On the island, you have 3 fights, alpha, beta, gamma of the dragon, and then you have the same thing for the giant monkey and broodmother. On center, you have a boss fight that has the giant monkey and the broodmother, which is, it works the same way as this server here, where you only have 3 of the boss fights, where it's either hard, medium, or easy of broodmother and monkey fight. Then you have Scorched Earth is another map. You have your boss fight on there is just the manticore. And Aberration. Aberration has a that's something too. On the island server, you have a thing called the Ascension, which you unlock a bunch of stuff from there as well. Just trying to think. Oh, you get the different cinematic for the Ascension. Shows you a lot of what these arcs are about. There's quite a bit to it. Meanwhile, I'm just spitting out a whole bunch of information, and I don't even... There's a lot to grasp. And I think the only real way to know a lot of it is to actually play it. Because like I said, I haven't played this in a while, and I probably forgot just as much. I forgot just as much as I remember coming back into this. But I have played around 6 months of official. Played about 2 months on PvE. And in the 2 months that I played on PvE, there was a tribe on the island server. And we did the Megapithecus and Broodmother fight. Or no, we did the the giant monkey fight. But we didn't do any of the other ones, because I wasn't on there long enough. And then I moved to PvP, and we did the Ragnarok bosses more times than I care for. Done them that many times that it's insane. That's something else that I should also mention. With a boss fight, you can only bring, now I say only, but at the same time it takes a long time for you to build them up. 20 tames max and 10 people max. So we've done it with about 8 people, and for instance on Ragnarok, which is the dragon and manticore fight, we'll bring in 19 Rexes, which are raised to have a hell of a lot of health and a hell of a lot of melee, so that we can go into that fight. And the Yudi that we bring in, or Uteranus, which is, it basically looks like an oversized velociraptor with fur. So you could say either a really furry T-Rex with really jagged teeth, or whatever. But what the UD does is it does a scream that increases stats for your dinos. So when you run in with a UD in the boss fight with a whole bunch of Rexes, that UD will increase the stats of your T-Rexes.